What's up, folks? It's Fuzzy here. Welcome back to the video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today is our first squad building video for FIFA 23. We're going to take a look at 100,000 coins squad builder that you guys can build right now, practice with, and get your ranks up on rivals, and then use in the very first FUT Champs weekend, which is happening in like 3 days from when this video goes up. So, it gives you time to get coins, build a team, practice, and get good, and get some wins in and FUT Champs so you can get those good first rewards and help build your team even further. If you do enjoy the video, leave a thumbs up on it. It's great. Appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button when you're around here and let me know in the comments down below what budgets you want to see in next week's episode. Total cost does come in at 99,300 coins, and for the start formation we're actually going to be playing a 4-4-2. This is to get everyone on chemistry. Everyone will have full chemistry without even putting the manager on, which is really nice to see, and we'll just work through this one by one. And because it is a different chemistry system, I don't have to start from the goalkeeper and build it. I can do this whatever way I want. So I'm going to show the main man of the team, which is Shomurodov. I think I pronounced it correctly. It's the Roma striker. I picked him up because I had a bit of bias. I was like, I've got a usable Roma striker. I have to put him in the team. I bought him for 13,000 coins. He's now 15,500. He's a 3-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot player, high medium, and 6'3" with good base pace, good shooting. The passing is okay for a striker at this point in the game. Dribbling is I'm going to say pretty solid for how the game plays, and then the physicals are good. He only has speed dribble trait, nothing else there, but this guy has been a unit. You see 13 matches played, 15 goals, 4 assists. For all these players, we will have a look at their chemistry styles at the end after we build the full squad to show you what's best. I know there's a lot of discussion around like getting everyone on lengthy or at least on controlled run types or accelerate types, so we will discuss that. But this guy, for the price, is one of the best strikers in the game, and he scores for fun and he fits the meta completely, which is weird to say for someone that's 3-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot. Skill moves, you want at least 3, but they don't really matter that much in the current way of playing. 4-star weak foot is nice. This guy bangs me with his left foot as well. And I will look at his striking partner. Beside him, you're going to go for a cheaper option. You're going to pick up Muriel, who's 2,200 coins in the market, and all these prices are the PC, all these prices are like the cross-platform prices, so like the PlayStation, Xbox, and I think it's Stadia. But Muriel for 2,200 coins is just an absolute beast of a card, man. He's 4-star, 4-star, 5'10". You look at the stats, like it's essentially, it ticks all the boxes for a starter card. He's got good pace, he's got good base shooting, his dribbling is super well rounded. For a striker, he can pass, he has flair and outside of the foot shot trait, which fits the bill really well for the gameplay at the minute. And honestly, having him in the team, obviously, like you're sort of forcing yourself into a 2-striker setup whenever you go for these two, but you could, for example, put Muriel out in the wing if you really had to, play someone at cam and maybe go for like a wide formation like a 4-3-3. You'll see how that plays out as we build out the rest of the squad. And I promise it's not continuing the Roma bias, but Pellegrini, he's 3,100 coins in the market. He's dropped a little bit since I bought him. He is insanely good in game. Do not sleep on this card, man. A lot of people have been saying it. He's got leadership, finesse shot outside of the foot shot trait. He's a crazy well-rounded centre midfielder for the start of the game, and honestly, he will last the power curve for quite some time to come. If he picks up an inform or EA give him a promo card anytime in the first like 2 to 4 weeks, that card should last till well after Christmas, and I'm looking forward to it. There's nothing to dislike about this card for your box-to-box player. I have an engine on him. You can put on basically any cam style you fancy for how the play is. And he's just tremendous. Like for 3,000 coins or 3,100, you can also start him in cam if you need to for chemistry options. He is a unit. Beside him, we're going for someone who I don't actually have in the club, so we're going to have to use a concept, and you will need to position change him at least once, but it's Sandro Tonali. He's 21,500 coins in the market, and he's an unreal defensive midfield option. Like, this is for starter cards, because remember, guys, we're in the first week of FIFA. Like, the full game only released, what? This is Tuesday, only released on Friday. We're not even a full weekend. So these guys are going to be lower rated squads, and this is obviously 100k budget, but Tonali fits the bill. He can play. Obviously, he's got the medium high work rates, which I like to have if you do want to play with a DM. It's very good. 3-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot, spot on for a defensive midfielder. But the stats, he can play box to box. It's great. No real traits to speak of, but like for a DM who is outside of the shooting, which obviously for a defensive midfield doesn't matter that much, he's literally 1 dribbling or 1 defending away from having like those round 80s on the 5 main stats on his first card. Obviously, 21,500 coins may be a little bit expensive, but when you consider the prices of the likes of Kessie, who's a very similar card, but not as quick and probably not as good on the ball, who's coming in at even more, it makes Tonali look like a very, very reasonable option. The left midfielder is actually going to be a left wing that I've been using and testing for quite a few games now. It's going to be Chiesa. 20 matches played. He has mainly been playing left wing for me, or in like a cam position. He did play striker in one of the systems we tested, but he has been very nice in game overall. He is on the market 23,750 coins. He has again dropped a little bit since I bought him, but he takes so many boxes for the game right now. 4-star, 4-star for the skill moves and weak foot, obviously a tremendous place to start. High medium work rate's good. He's right footed, so obviously feel free to play him wherever you want. He can only play left wing and left mid, but you can put him in striker. You can play him right mid in game if you want to. You obviously just change custom tactics. Regards to traits, he's got outside of the foot shot trait, which works really well at the minute with like those Trivela shots and those Trivela crosses. So even though he's right footed on the left side, he can just smash those in. But he's got the build and the pace to work so well in this game, especially when you put a marksman on. I say I'll go on to FUTGG and show this to you guys, but it's just a really well balanced card. Obviously the passing isn't as quite ideal, and I did look at putting a Deadeye on him, but Marksman gives him a very nice sort of situation in game, and I'll be able to show that in a second. He's, again, like, obviously, Tonali's a big spender, and then Chiesa is your other big spender in this squad. Everyone else is kind of like reasonable prices. He is 100% worth it because of how many positions you can play him in. But the right wing option, we're going to go with Lozano, who is currently overpriced for his gold because his informs and packs. So be aware of that. On the market right now, he's currently 9,900 coins. Before his inform came out, he was between 5,000 and 6,000. He is... Although explosive players aren't the best at the minute in game, Lozano just still has that impact, and you can play with him accordingly. If he's like maybe your only explosive player in the attacking third, it just makes things work. You probably want to sub him off because the stamina is only 76, which actually, to be fair, for a star card isn't awful. Obviously the dribbling with that high agility is a big point for him, and the rest is just well rounded for an 81 rated. Passing a bit weak, the shooting is weak, but I feel like you just want to put a chem style on that to boost it, and don't worry too much about boosting the pace. Maybe this is where you put a finisher on him, or you put something like a Deadeye, but what I say, we'll have a look at that. There's an alternative to him as well if you want to pick up someone super cheap who's been putting a shift in for me. And this one fully comes down to the Roma bias. It's going to be Zaniolo. He's a center forward, but he can play. Oh man, he plays so many positions. Like, you can play him center forward, striker, or in the right hand side. He's got 26 games for me, 7 goals, 10 assists. He's been playing as a cam, a right wing, and a center midfielder for me because he's got the stats to do it. He's like 1,000 coins in the market, something like that. He is a very good option if you want to try someone instead of Lozano, if you're wanting that like actual proper controlled run type. Just something to be aware of. And whilst we're on the topic of alternative options, I just want to show that instead of Muriel, if you want to, you can spend 1,000 coins less and pick up, I say 1,000 coins, it goes from 2,200 to 1,100. But you can save yourself 1,000 coins to pick up Victor Osimhen. He loses a skill move, but his physicality in game is absolutely nuts. So say these tall, basically tall players who are strong and can get the lengthy run style are overpowered at the minute. Osimhen, you can put literally a marksman on him and he gets lengthy run style, and he's just a beast in game. So just again, I just want to provide those two options as alternatives for you. And I say, obviously, people might look at this a bit, oh well, I want Messi in the squad, but this is a 100k squad builder. This is getting, like, you're squeezing as much performance in game as you can out of that budget, and I think I've managed to nail with this. Now let's look at the back line and the goalkeeper. You don't have to spend big on your goalkeeper, and there's not too much to say. We're picking Onana. He's 850 coins. Big thing here is he's got a 3-star weak foot. His passing stats are actually quite good with the kicking at 86, and he's a quick player. He actually rushes out your goals, comes for crosses, and saves with feet. He has all 3 traits you want in a goalkeeper for 850 coins. I need to change my team a little bit. I've got Ter Stegen at the minute, but I feel like I want to put Onana in just because the stats look insane. We're going to go at the centre backs options now, and we're going to kick things off by picking up Bremer, who, if I can get my prices up on screen, he has 4,300 coins on the market. I think he's actually my most played player here at 28 matches. He's 2-star, 2-star, but he's a centre back. It doesn't matter. That's 78 pace with the good defending stats. Well-rounded physicality for dribbling for a centre back. This game, part of the game is good. His vision isn't great, but he's got 69 for the short pass and long pass, so you can make it work as long as you're aware enough with your passing on him. For 4,300 coins, he is a tremendous centre back option. He's a unit in the game. For me at the minute, actually, he's one of the best centre backs in the game with how he plays. Again, this is why Serie A can be a beast for like starter squads and even just building out throughout the year, because there's so many like hidden gems in it. We're going to pair him with a 79 rated centre back, which might come as a little bit surprise, but it's going to be Ibanez. So we've got Bremer here, who's like our sort of like beastie, lengthy player, and then we're picking up Ibanez, who's our speedy player. The only concern here is obviously both are 2-star, and the passing for both is lackluster. However, I've used them in my I'm gonna say my grind. I've just been slowly playing when I can to go from Division 10 to Division 6. We're almost into Division 5, and these two were my striker partnership for most of that time frame. And Ibanez is a unit in game that dives into tackle straight, makes a big difference. You put an anchor on him, you get that acceleration to an 89, sprint speed to 84, the defending gets a nice boost, the strength and aggression goes up. He gets then given the lengthy run type for a player who's on like what, 86 PS. Absolutely nuts to have in game. The left back situation, I've been lucky enough to actually pack the first owner Hernandez, but if I didn't pack him, I'm going to show you who my option would have been to use in my squad, and it's who I'm going to be putting into this team. He's actually surprised me. He's 12,500 coins in the market, which kind of makes sense with how good he is, but it's Spinazzola. Some people won't like the right-footed player on the left back situation, but I used him basically all year last year in that situation. I didn't have an issue, and now we've got the Trevelo crosses, which are OP, and we can obviously use. The main thing here is the pace. He is 6'1", which helps in the physicality side of things as well, but that pace is rapid. He can kind of shoot if he gets the opportunity for it. Passing is sort of like what you expect for an 82 fullback at this point in the game. The dribbling outside of the composure, which has always been a weird one for Spinazzola, is good. Balance a little bit heavy, but fine. The defending stats are good. The stamina is a little lower, so if you are going forward with him, obviously we've got 5 subs just now in FIFA this year. Maybe have a fullback that you can bring on instead. But he's who you should be using in this team, and that means you can go for a slightly more defensive, beefier right back. And for that right back, we're going to go with Denzel Dumfries, who's actually a right wing back. So overall in this team, you need 4 position changes. Actually 5. The alternative here, actually, I have now just clocked it. If you don't want to worry about position changes, if you go to your starting formation of 4-2-4, so rather than 5 changes, you only need 3. So look at that, Big Bear plays while doing the squad builder, but that completes the squad. As you can see here, I've got 7 of these guys at the minute. The squad is 99,300 coins. It will drop a little bit once Lozano gold goes back into packs, and I say there are alternatives for Zaniolo and Osimhen. But just to show you guys, I am actually using these players. This is me just chatting whatever to make it seem like they're good. Like, this is my current team that I am using in my grind to like rank up the divisions to start playing FUT Champs. I am still using Zaniolo in the squad. I have Bremer in there. I've got Pellegrini playing. I've got Sharomadov. I've got Chiesa on my bench. I actually don't have any of the other players. Banyas was playing, but then I completed the Kim Min-jae SBC, and I've been testing him so far, and he's actually pretty solid. So if you have him, you could just put him into the team instead. But loads of options. One element is if you complete the Dest actually want to watch objective that's free, you could put him in. You will then rely on Spinazzola going on like being your more defensive player, because obviously Dest's defensive stats are hella low. But let's look at the chem styles for you now. Obviously, just to show, if you do get everyone on chem in the 4-4-2, this is what it will look like, just to prove that it does get on chemistry. As we did realize, though, maybe starting on the 4-2-4 would be better, and then you only need 3 position changes, as we said, if I can find it here. I am on FUTGG, which I'll link in the description, guys, if you need to know what this website is. I've just realized I've got my champs record. I ain't even played champs in a couple of weeks. Let me get that off. Yeah, FUTGG, good for squad building, good for looking at players and figuring out the linky side of things, and then they also do assets. But look, Onana's a goalkeeper, and honestly, I've been leaving all of mine on basic at the minute. I mean, I've not bothered to test around with it. Let me know in the comments if there's anything better than that, but I literally just play them on basic. So you can see the accelerate type here. I am highlighting over it. It's underneath the pace, and this is the key thing. You've got explosive, you've got controlled, and you've got lengthy. Basically, lengthy is the best to have, controlled is the second best to have, and explosive is currently the worst to have. Basically, explosive players, well, in a really quick running situation, they're going to burst forward, they're going to win that sprint, and like in the box, maybe if you're going for a quick boost of speed, that's going to be useful. But like I could play, actually, I played Chris Smalling at centre back, like 60 PS Smalling at centre back, and he was able to catch up with 90 PS wingers because he's got the lengthy style. So if you've just gone for a big long ball and your winger who has explosive run type is getting it, he's going to be really quick for that first little bit, and then he's going to slow down. He's going to then finally get to the ball. But Smalling, or these lengthy defenders, just slowly pick up the pace, and then they can eventually run at like max speed and bully your small little explosive wingers. So there's a big reason to have it at the minute. Dumfries comes with it as a preset, so you can kind of then go whatever you want chem style wise. I think honestly a shadow makes sense for him to try and get the pace as high as possible with the lengthy, then get the defender boost, because his physicality is already looking pretty damn good. If you want to, maybe you apply an anchor to him, but I think that's kind of what you're looking at, either a shadow or an anchor, and he has the lengthy style already. As I said, for Ibanez, you need to put the anchor on it. So look, he has controlled, and then it's basically, I can't remember the calculation. It's something to do with the dribbling stats and in the physicality stats. Maybe I need to make a full video explaining it for you guys. But you put an anchor on him, he changes to lengthy, he gets 86 pace, the defending and the physicality goes up, and you're just absolutely laughing. Bremer comes with the accelerate on lengthy already, and that's sort of mentioned, you just want to put a shadow on him. His strength and aggression, maybe you could argue, want to be a little bit higher, but for me, he's been absolutely bullied in people in game. He's 6'2" when he's playing these smaller strikers. Even players around 6 foot, he just bullies them off the ball. That lengthy with that 86 pace, like similar to Ibanez, just means I can catch up with players endlessly. Like, I am not worried about getting hit on counters at all at the minute with how I'm set up. I'm playing a 4-back with a full-back. I'm playing a 4-man defense with a fullback bombing up the pitch, and I'm not worried. That's how comfortable it is playing with Ibanez and Bremer as my centre backs. Spinazzola comes with the controlled. Now, if you're really pushing him to get lengthy, like, he's controlled and there's no way to get him on lengthy, regardless what chem style you put on him. And as he's playing as a fullback, I feel like an anchor might be the best here. Get the pace as high as possible with the controls, which will still run really nicely in game. It gets a really nice defensive boost, and then it just boosts that strength and the aggression up a little bit more. With, keep in mind, people are trying to actively go for lengthy players who are like, and typically that means they're taller and stronger. So Spinazzola getting that +8 on the strength will actually make a big difference on this card, so I would recommend going for that. Lozano is on explosive, and we want to try and change this if we can, but it's not the end of the world if we can't. Yeah, so I've checked them all. We quite literally cannot change Lozano from explosive. None of the chem styles give that. So as I mentioned before, I feel like a finisher to get that finishing up, the positioning gets a +8, shot power goes up, we get agility and balance gets even better, which we don't necessarily need. The dribbling's at 98, which is nuts. I think you do that or a Deadeye, I'll be honest. Finisher or Deadeye, personal preference, depends if you value that dribbling or that passing stat. Then Tonali is a unit, and he comes with the controlled style. I mean, like, if you put an architect on him, you can get it to lengthy, and this is where it kind of comes down to how you guys feel about this in game, I'll be honest, because for me, I am happy to have my defensive midfielder be just controlled. However, I have been playing with Tchouaméni. If I go back onto the Xbox screen real quick, this guy is a lengthy run style, and I've just smacked an anchor on him. He only gets 74 pace, but he's rapid in game when he gets going. So maybe Tonali has 80 pace, forcing him onto something like an archetype to get lengthy, get that passing up, like 86 vision, 99 short passing, 85 long passing, gets the strength to 96 for your DM. Putting an architect on him actually makes a lot of sense. That is the only way to get him lengthy. It's not necessarily the end of the world. Maybe you put an anchor on him and just go for that nice well-rounded, he's going to hold the midfield for you. I've seen some people putting maestros onto good defensive midfielders, box-to-box players. Say this one's very personal preference. I feel like you're either going to go shadow to max the pace, anchor just to make him a bit of a beast box-to-box, or architect, not worry about the pace, get the physicality all the way up, get the passing all the way up, and get onto that ideal run type. Pellegrini for me, it has to be an engine. Again, you can you put him on lengthy? I don't think there's a single way to get Pellegrini onto lengthy with how it works, basically because his dribbling is so good already. People want to put a shadow on him. Some people want to put a hunter on him if he's playing the box to box, and I can understand the hunter, but if you see my custom tactics where he plays, I'd have him get forward and get in the box across. So that kind of makes sense to try and max his shooting, but for me, I like the engine on him. Gets the pace up, gets the dribbling up in the key stats, and gets most of the passing up in everywhere that it matters. Chiesa, as I say, he comes with explosive. If you put a mark spun on him, it changes him to controlled. 100% need to be doing this. That's how you play so well for me in game. Shomurodov, I have a hawk on mine at the minute. Now you can, again, you can get him on lengthy if you want to. I don't think it's really worth doing. I don't think you desperately need to put everyone onto it. So I think honestly, just put a hawk or a hunter onto Shomurodov, whatever you have, whatever you can afford. Hawk for me to get that aggression up by 8. I found actually to make a big difference. Those sort of like 50-50s when the ball's bouncing in the box. I want my players to have at least 70 aggression. Getting that boost over that, I find a big difference. Muriel is kind of just the pacey guy. Again, I think you're not going to get his aggression up too much anyway. He's on 50, but maybe a hawk gets a nice well-rounded boost. Say his passing's already pretty good for a striker, so maybe something like a finisher, get the dribbling as maxed out as you can, get a really good shooting boost, but that rounds it off, guys. So Maybe we went on a little bit longer than I had anticipated discussing things, but hopefully that helps you out. That's the 100k squad builder for the first week of FUT Champs, and let me know what you think about it in the comments down below if there's any changes you would have made particularly. And I'll say hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and let me know what budgets you guys want to see. This is going to be a weekly series. Every single Tuesday we'll do a squad builder, so let me know what budgets you want to see in the YouTube comments down below or join the Discord and let me know. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one, and goodbye.